One of the great challenges of making Highlander in Vancouver is that it is very difficult to do a flashback without just shooting it in close-up and trying to create something out of wardrobe and a few props. Our production designer, Steve Gagan, was continually amazing because every time we'd ask him, Steve, can we do this? He would say yes. Well, we said, Steve, we need to do kind of a World War II period, Eastern Europe, Russia, something like that, with 100 refugees going on to being exiled, supposedly rescued by McLeod and being kind of betrayed. Can we do that? And he said, yeah, plus we'll have cars driving up and we'll have a whole thing. You can even have a wide shot. And sure enough, 4 days later, when we arrived at the location, everything had been dressed, everything had been organized. I mean, and it looked like, as you've seen, it looked like Eastern Europe in that time period. The other interesting thing I think about this episode is that we had to deal with what happens when an immortal is decapitated by something other than the sword of the immortal he was fighting. And because in this case, Volshin gets chopped up by the propellers. So what we thought was, as long as an immortal is present, he gets the quickening. And if there is no immortal present, then the quickening just goes to the source. And finally, the issue of one of the issues of immortality that is intriguing is, why does somebody choose to spend their mortal life with someone who won't grow old and with whom they can't have children? And it's one thing to have this as an intellectual conversation. It's another thing when you're put in close proximity to a child. And for Tessa, when she comes in contact with the little girl and starts to kind of fall in love with the little girl, it brings home in a very powerful way what exactly she's giving up to be with McLeod. And this is a story that could only be told in the context of Highlander.